I've got 3 very important announcements that you have to hear in order to save gold. The first one's applicable before this update, so make sure you follow this as soon as possible. There are 2 big sources of gold coming in this update. The first is a gold refund that we'll get for all of the scrap and gear tokens that we've had before this update. The second is a boost to gold in Brawl boxes after this update. Supercell's being honestly just incredibly generous with the scrap and gear token refund before this update, which means that you will ultimately get more gold on your account if you open up your boxes before the update. I'll share more specifics later on, but unless you are saving boxes for Buster, I highly recommend opening any save boxes that you may have right now. The second announcement is something to do after the update. After the gear rework, you will be able to craft 1 gear for free. I highly recommend crafting either Jean's mythic gear or Tick's mythic gear because they are twice as expensive as the regular super rare gears. If you don't have either Jean or Tick at power 10 yet, there are 20 brawlers with epic gears that will also save you coins. I'll cover them later in this video. The third announcement is applicable before or after the update. If you have a bunch of club coins stocked up and you're not sure how to spend them to get the most value, Power Points by far offers the most value at 3.3 gold for every club coin spent, although this conversion actually happens later on when you have enough power points to completely max out all of your brawlers, but it's significantly higher. Buying gold or scrap is actually going to be the same value at 2.5 gold for every club coin, and buying token gears provides a little less value at 2.42 gold for every club coin that you spend. So if you still need power points on brawlers, don't buy anything else, just power points all the way. Otherwise, feel free to buy gold before or after the update since it actually won't matter. As a bonus announcement, you will be able to craft a lot more gears after this update than you could before, thanks to all the gold buffs that we are getting. We're no longer limited by gear tokens, so you can craft the absolute best gears for every brawler. I will be making a video on the best 2 gears for every single brawler in the game, so you will want to wait to craft all of your gears until after watching that. I'll try to get it to you as fast as I can. And with those announcements out of the way, we have a lot to cover. New gears, the gear rework, details on how gold is being buffed to make up for the missing scrap and gear tokens in boxes, balance changes, new skin release dates and costs, and a whole lot more. So let's go. We're getting 4 new gears in this update. The reload speed gear is an epic gear that will cost 1,500 coins to craft. It will increase the reload speed of the brawler that it is equipped to by 20% for all their projectiles. This is super useful, but it can only be equipped to 10 brawlers in the game. Belle, Eve, Lola, Bo, Brock, Colt, 8-Bit, Amber, Rico, and Griff. I'm especially excited to see exactly how much value these provides for these brawlers and whether or not this will actually fundamentally change how any of them work. I could see Rico or Amber or Brock becoming significantly stronger because of this gear. The supercharge gear is another epic gear that will cost 1,500 coins to craft. It increases the supercharging rate from all sources by 10%. Well, not all sources. I'll explain that later. But it can only be equipped to 10 brawlers in the game. Ash, Lou, Otis, Bull, Nani, Bonnie, Edgar, Sprout, El Primo, and Jackie. Now this increases supercharging from most sources. Obviously, hitting enemies will charge your super 10% faster, but Bonnie and Edgar will be able to charge their supers 10% faster automatically because it's built into their characters for them. Brawlers like Bull, El Primo, and Jackie will not charge their supers 10% faster from taking damage thanks to their trait. And also, these brawlers that would be standing in Bo's super totem gadget will not charge their supers faster just idly from it. However, Edgar's super will charge faster when he uses his Let's Fly gadget. There are a few inconsistencies with this gear right now, and if I had to guess, Supercell will eventually make some changes to make it consistent sometime in the future. Now Tick is getting a mythic gear which will cost 2,000 coins to buy. The gear is named Head Health, and it increases the health of his super by 1,000 health. So at max level, it's increasing the super head from 2,400 HP to 3,400 HP. Honestly, I think this is a pretty fantastic gear for Tick and would be by far worth getting as your first free gear. Jean is also getting a mythic gear which will cost 2,000 coins to buy. Jean's hand range gear says that it will increase the range of his super by 1 additional tile. As you can see in the side by side, it doesn't look like it reaches a full tile, but rather 1/3 of a tile, which is a little bit confusing because what we call a full tile in the game is actually 3 tiny little tiles. I'm still getting clarification from the developers, but I imagine that they will either buff the range more or they will change the description to make a little bit more sense. Now let's talk about the gear rework. We have more details than we've even talked about in the past, and then we'll cover balance changes. Gear tokens and scrap are being removed from the game. They will no longer drop from boxes anymore, and instead it will cost coins to craft gears, but the amount actually depends on the rarity. You'll be refunded the coins for all of your gear tokens and in the scrap that you've ever unlocked in your account, whether you've crafted gears or not, which is completely fair. I know it's a little confusing, but no matter whether you've crafted gears or not before the update or after the update, it doesn't matter. It's completely fair for everybody. However, Supercell is actually being very generous with that refund, which I will cover in a minute. Now, the 5 gears that have already been in the game up until this point are all going to be super rare gears, and they will cost 1,000 gold to craft. They are also getting rid of gear levels. So if you buy a super rare gear, it will be immediately providing the full buff that a power 3 gear or a level 3 gear would have before the update. Now, the 5 super rare gears will be able to be purchased and used on every single brawler in the game. And for now, epic gears are only equipable on 10 brawlers, and mythic gears are only equipable on 1 brawler. Now, Supercell did let me know that they might change this in the future as they introduce more gears, but this is the case for now. To make things fair for everyone, they are removing scrap, they are removing gear tokens, they are removing gears from everybody's account, and they are reimbursing you with coins. You will get 2.25 coins for every scrap that you have ever had on your account, whether you've used it to craft a gear or not. You'll also get 217.5 coins for every gear token that you've ever had on your account. So if you had enough scrap and gear tokens to craft a single level 3 gear before this update, you would be refunded 1,635 gold, which, if you number people are running your math in your head right now, that is 63% more gold than you will need to craft the same gear after the update. In other words, everyone is essentially getting 635 free gold for any max gear that you could have crafted on your account or that you did craft on your account. That is actually insane. It's honestly incredible that Brawl Stars is doing that, and I think, personally, I think it makes up for the fact that gears were so overpriced when they first came out. Plus, it makes for a lot of room for them to actually release new gears in the future, and we'll have gold to unlock them if you spend your gold correctly. Now, they've let me know that their current plan is to release new gears with most, if not all, future updates. Literally, they might release a gear for every future update, and that is huge. That means with each new update, that will bring exciting changes to existing brawlers in the game, and we will be getting content for the gears that we are spending our time and money into actually purchasing. So that's it makes so much sense, and I'm so excited. But we've got more great news. Supercell is increasing the amount of gold that players get from Brawl boxes by 90%. That's awesome. That's actually very close to the 94% gold buff that I calculated that Supercell would need to do in order to make up for the gold cost of buying gears after they remove scrapping gear tokens from boxes. Now, that 90% is a little bit less than the 94% I suggested, but I honestly think it is completely fine, and in fact, more than fine, when you consider the fact that they are essentially giving us 63% additional gold for all the scrap and gear tokens that we have been acquiring for the past year. We are getting way more gold in the short run for a very slight inconvenience in the long run, and overall, way more gold than I thought we would be getting. So you guys know that I'm 100% honest with my thoughts about updates, whether or not Supercell likes it, right? Or whether or not you guys like it. I am so happy with these changes, and in my opinion, nobody should be unhappy with them. These are great changes, and Supercell was very generous. This is fantastic. Now let's cover balance changes, and then we'll cover everything else and end this video with skins. Meg is getting a 4.5% buff to her HP. At max level, she's going from 3,300 to 3,450 health. This is not a very big buff to her. It will only allow her to survive 1 additional ammo from 3 brawlers in the game. Not a big change. Normally a 4.5% HP buff is fairly decent, but since she has one of the lowest HPs in the game, I don't expect this is going to change very much for her. However, it will make her slightly more viable. Barley is getting a fairly large buff to his attack damage. It's an 8.6 buff, which is on the higher side of things, and his attacks are going from 1,050 damage to 1,140 damage for each tick of damage damage, and that is not including his extra toxic star power damage. After the update, he will be able to take out 6 brawlers with 1 less ammo. I don't think it's going to make Barley like the strongest brawler in the game, but I certainly think that he'll be a little bit more viable with this change. He might be the best thrower after the update, but only time will tell. Eve is also getting a significant attack damage buff. It's an 8.1% attack damage buff, and her smallest egg is going from 550 to 600 damage. Now with this buff, she'll be able to take out 22 brawlers in the game with 1 less ammo, although the way that I calculated this is a bit weird since Eve deals different damage depending on which projectile actually hits them. Either way though, I think she'll be much stronger after the update. Gus is getting 4 buffs. First of all, his shield and healing now scales with his power levels. His healing used to be 1000 healing at all levels, and now it scales from 800 at power 1 to 1200 healing at power 11. So this is a 20% buff to his healing that he provides at maximum level. His shield used to be at 3600 shielding at all levels, and now it will scale from 2600 at power 1 to 3900 shield at power 11. That's an 8% buff to his shield at max level. But Gus's super is also getting 2 buffs. First is an increase to the speed that it travels by 12.5%. This is going to make it much easier to actually hit teammates and actually be able to justify using your super on them. But on top of that, it's now going to be able to actually travel through walls, so he can shield literally any teammate within his range. Honestly, any one of these changes by themselves are not too big, but I'm really excited to see how much stronger he's going to be with all of them together, and I have a hunch that he could be an A tier, potentially an S tier brawler when played correctly. Poco is getting a 5% nerf to his attack damage. At max level, it's going from 1200 to 1140 damage. He's going to require 1 additional ammo to take out 23 of the 60 brawlers in the game, which means that it's actually a fairly meaningful nerf. However, this is still 8% stronger than his attack was before it was buffed in the last update, so I still think that he's gonna be pretty good. He just won't be insanely good at dealing damage like he was before, which honestly, he's a healer. He has no right dealing that kind of damage in my opinion. Now Sam is getting a nerf to his Hardy Recovery Star Power. Rather than him healing 30% of his missing health each time he picks up his Knuckle Busters, he'll now only heal 20% of his missing health. I still think this will be a good star power. However, I think that his second star power might be a little bit more appealing after the update. Will it be the better option all the time? I'm gonna wait until I try it before I actually say that. Now both Stu and B are getting nerfs to their gadgets that drop some sort of a totem or super or something, right? To make them consistent with other gadgets like this, they're going to have a health decay, which means that they will slowly get destroyed over time. It takes 34 seconds for them to both get destroyed, which honestly is gonna make them worse, but also honestly, it's gonna be much more fair. Now let's talk about a bunch of other random stuff coming in this update, and then we'll talk about skin prices. We are getting a report button in Power League. This is a first version that will help the developer team prepare for a wider rollout of the feature across like other game modes, okay? They want to be able to identify the amount of people reporting in general and the number of repeat reports that individual players are getting. They did say that they're going to start giving in-game bans after the update, and they will keep improving the system with future updates. This is for players obviously who are purposefully griefing other players in one way or another. I don't think that teaming is included in Showdown, although I wish that it was, but we'll have to wait to see that in the future. Gadgets and star powers are being removed from the shop. Instead, you'll be able to buy them directly from the brawler screen once the brawler actually reaches power 7 or 9. However, for now, they will continue to drop for free in brawl boxes. And that's why my advice still stands to always try and just get all of your gadgets and star powers from brawl boxes, because you will get all of them by the time all of your brawlers are power 11 for free. We are now going to get new generic quests to replace one of our daily quests. They will either be a win a certain number of matches quest, or a deal a certain amount of damage quest, or heal a certain amount of health type of quest. These can be completed with any brawler in any mode, however you want to do it. And honestly, I think that that is fantastic. These generic quests cannot be re-rolled, so you can't swap them out for something else, and it is impossible for other quests to be re-rolled into these generic quests. When you select the try button in the brawler selection screen, you can now choose between the training grounds, which is, you know, the entrance to the Star Park, or a practice match. Practice matches will allow you to play any brawler in a randomly selected map and mode against bots. The real reason to do this is for brawlers that you do not own, so you can see how good they are, try them out for a little bit, and to try to determine whether or not they're actually worth getting in your opinion. Additionally, we can now play duplicate brawlers in friendly matches. I've said this before, this is not a big feature, but my thankfulness is big that they allowed for this because this just makes for some fun, silly things that people can do. Now let's take a look at the skin costs and animations. Frankengrom is going to be available on update day and he will cost 149 gems. He's got a super creepy outfit on and a very creepy looking backpack, but it's his projectiles that actually looks really cool, especially his super. He throws his backpack on the ground and tentacles come out. It looks awesome. When he loses, he actually gets eaten by his backpack, which is concerning. And then his winning animation looks like it's just really cool. Not just his arms being all zombie-like, but his backpack. And what's this? We actually get a quick glimpse of what his face looks like. Pizza Oven Ash is going to be available for purchase in the Club League shop as soon as the update arrives. He's a fire brick oven, and that's pretty much it. Except his attack animation is actually really cool because every time he slams the ground, he leaves various pizza ingredients on it. And those ingredients change depending on how raged he is. For his super, he throws out little pizza bots that chase down his enemies. And when he loses, it looks like he discovers that his pizza's no longer good or it's spoiled or there's flies around or something like that. But when he wins, he literally pulls a pizza out of his face, which is kind of unsettling in a funny way. Next is Zombrock, who is going to cost 29 gems, but you'll be able to win him for free in a 12-win challenge that will drop on the day of the update. That is actually a pretty great value skin for only 29 gems, especially with his cool looking coffin, right? Now, since he is an inexpensive skin though, he doesn't come with any custom animations for his attacks or losing or winning or anything like that. Trash Panda Penny though, oh my gosh, she is a tier 1 reward for the Brawl Pass, and this is such a cool skin. As you can see, she is a zombie who uses her other hand as a gun and her arm drips. Penny, what is this liquid that is oozing out of you? For her attack, she shoots hands at enemies, and if it hits an enemy, the split shot actually breaks off into little bones, which is hilarious. But for her super, she throws her raccoon friend in a trash can onto the ground, who then lobs pieces of trash at her enemies. This skin is awesome. When she loses, her own arm pulls her into the ground and she leaves her buddy all alone, which is so sad. But she climbs back out of the ground when she wins, and this is an S tier skin in my opinion. Like, way too much value for a tier 1 skin in the Brawl Pass. But then we have Chainsaw Buster, who is going to be the final reward at the end of the Brawl Pass. I can't show you this skin until the Buster Olympics sneak peek, so make sure you subscribe for that. Oh my word. But then we have Inspector Colette. She is going to be the Power League skin. That is a good reason to play Power League this season, guys, because this is such a great skin. She's a creepy ghost who works at the Ghost Metro station and inspects passengers' tickets. Oh, and she floats. At least she does when she's in the selection screen. She walks around like normal in battle, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, I don't know the cultural significance of her attack projectiles, but they look pretty cool. They've got those little tags on there, and you know, so if somebody wants to let me know in the comment section below, I would love to know that. But then you have her super, which looks really cool as well. Now, her pen runs out of ink when she loses, which clearly makes her upset, and she does this very like crazy floaty ghost animation. She's all insane and stuff when she wins. It's such a great skin. Now, G-Force Janet will release on November 14th and will only cost 29 gems. It's an inexpensive skin, so she doesn't have any animation changes, but that's pretty much just fine. Also, I love the yellow hair. It's a really great skin. Now, First Blob Squeak will also release on November 14th and will cost 79 gems. He's an action hero, and my favorite part is that his hair and bandana are blowing in the non-existent wind. Like, clearly somebody's got a fan and is just blowing his hair in the wind. It's hilarious. Now, as you might guess, he throws globby hand grenades for his attack and this interesting explosive thing on his back for his super. Now, when he loses, he kind of just plops himself onto the ground. And this is what happens when he wins. This is a really cool looking skin as well. But Rage Quit Terra, oh my gosh, she will be available on November 25th if you were able to get her for free via the World Championship stream. Or she'll be available for purchase sometime in the next year for 149 gems. This whole aesthetic for the skin, the colors, it's just awesome. She is Rage Quit Terra, right? So she literally, when she throws her phones for projectiles, which break once they reach max distance, right? And she chucks her smartwatch for her super. She's an angry person, and that's probably why they call her Rage Quit Terra. And you can probably guess what she does to her phone when she loses. she gives it a good punch, right? But when she wins, she does this cool spin, this hair flip, and a selfie. It all looks really cool. A fantastic skin. But then we have Omega Box Daryl skin, which we're somehow getting for free in a special event, or some of us will, or all of us will, we don't know. It's happening sometime early to mid-December. I don't know what to tell you about this skin, but it looks like they're adding a new Omega Box into the game. Based off of this skin, it's going to be gemmier and bigger than a Mega Box. And obviously, I like that idea, but I don't know if you guys do, so let me know. For his attack, he fires broken up shards of gems, like he knows how much money I've spent on gems in the game. And for his super, he does this really cool gem shield animation, which looks really cool. And the shield actually stays on longer if he has his Steel Hoops star power equipped. When he loses, he literally just hides in his box. But he breaks out of his box with a glowing spectacle when he wins, and it's just awesome. And that is everything that I am allowed to share in this sneak peek, aside from some pins, player icons, sprays, and some challenges and stuff like that. I'm not sure if you guys really care to see those things early or not. Either way, subscribe for the Buster Olympics and check out my other Brawl Stars content right here. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by. We will see you in Brawl Stars.